As President Trump begins his second term, immigration remains at the forefront of his agenda, with executive orders targeting undocumented immigrants, an end to birthright citizenship, and a shift in refugee policies. The United States faces a dramatic reordering of its immigration framework. Legal challenges from large, while cities brace for mass arrests and economic ripple effects nationwide. Welcome to Think Tank.
Donald Trump is his name, and he's there to stay.
As unlikely, impossible is now reality.
America powerful. We will win, win, win. And we will make America great again. We will very quickly make America great again.
On his first day back in office, President Trump took swift action, signing a series of executive orders aimed at reshaping key policies. He rescinded many of Biden's executive actions, including those on climate change and racial equity, while targeting immigration with a halt on refugee admissions and a crackdown on birthright citizenship. The Washington Post has reported that Trump's orders also focused on energy, stripping environmental regulations, and expanding domestic production. He reinstated policies restricting transgender military service and reaffirmed his commitment to the America's First agenda by withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement and freezing federal hiring. Other orders included efforts to address national security concerns, including designating cartels as terrorist organizations and curbing government diversity programs, setting the stage for what promises to be a challenging legal and political landscape ahead. The Guardian has reported that the President Trump's recent executive order targets the long-standing principle of birthright citizenship in the United States by attempting to deny citizenship to children born on American soil to parents without legal status or temporary visas. This move challenges a core constitutional right established by the 14th Amendment. Despite the controversial nature of this order, it faces strong legal opposition as previous Supreme Court rulings, like Wong Kim Ark in 1898, support birthright citizenship. Legal experts suggest Trump may struggle to change this constitutional guarantee without a formal amendment. Though the order may not succeed in fully overturning birthright citizenship, it reflects more broader efforts to restrict immigration and could lead to intense legal battles and potential shifts in U.S. immigration policy. And providing more analysis about the recent immigration policies in the United States and its impacts, joining us from New York is Mr. Amgad Ataya, an economic and political analyst, and from Washington, Mr. John Rossomando, a national security expert. A very warm welcome to Qnews. And we start off with Mr. Ataya. Mr. Ataya, how do Trump's recent executive orders on immigration impact the U.S. economy, especially in sectors heavily reliant on immigrant labor, sir?
Hello. So yesterday we've witnessed President Trump sign several executive orders as soon as he took office. Part of them, or primarily, they were focusing on immigration, reforms of the government, establishing new Dodge executive part of the executive branch. But as you said, immigration was at the forefront of this. What we have seen are two main events or two main executive orders. First one was securing the border, sending the U.S. military to protect the border, announcing a national emergency, terminating the app that was available during the Biden era to allow illegal immigrants or asylum seekers to seek asylum or have appointment in the U.S. before the entry point. So all of this have been stopped. Immigration has been one of the main themes of the entire, campaign throughout the entire campaign. Whether it was
Mr.
for
Amgad,
Biden.
I do not want to interrupt you here, but is it possible that President Donald Trump is capable and will actually implement the concept of migration and immigration, and he will be capable of implementing it? Okay, I'll move on to Mr. Rosamondo with Trump's push to end birthright citizenship, sir. How do you foresee this move challenging both legal and national security concerns, sir?
I think that the whole thing is about ensuring that we don't have people coming into this country just to have children, and to ensure that we're not bringing people who become a burden on our system into our country. And also, President Trump probably believes that the legal challenges against his executive order will be held up by the United States Supreme Court, which, thanks to the justices he appointed, leans in a rightward direction. So I think this is all about testing the law, and President Trump getting the Supreme Court to give its approval to his interpretation of the 14th Amendment.
Mr. Atiyah, what are the broader social implications of Trump's immigration crackdown on communities of different cultures in the United States, sir?
Well, it will primarily impact liberal cities and liberal states because these are the sanctuary cities where most of the immigrants are concentrated. You're talking about New York, California, Chicago. These are the communities that will be impacted the most. We've heard that ICE will start to,
Mr. Atiyah and Mr. Rosamondo, stay with us, please. We will return to this interview shortly. But first, we will watch a report on these ongoing developments as Trump ramps up immigration enforcement, the U.S. economic policy, and faces potential disruptions. Here's a closer look at the impact.
Upon his re-inauguration, President Donald Trump quickly directed a series of executive orders aimed at curbing illegal immigration, promising to enact stricter policies against undocumented migrants. This focus on immigration has emerged as a pivotal issue for his administration, aligning with his core electoral promises to address national security concerns and protect American jobs. The administration's most prominent action includes mass arrests of undocumented immigrants, with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, intensifying operations across the country. This move, while undoubtedly politically popular in certain sectors, is poised to have far-reaching economic consequences. The arrest of millions of immigrants could lead to significant disruptions in labor markets, particularly in industries heavily reliant on immigrant labor, such as agriculture, construction, and hospitality. Furthermore, Trump signs executive order attempting to end birthright citizenship and declare a state of emergency on the U.S.-Mexico border is likely to exacerbate these economic disruptions. If implemented, such policies could lead to legal and constitutional challenges, potentially stalling their full implementation. Nevertheless, the very prospect of such measures sends alert to markets, generating uncertainty that could dampen economic growth, particularly in immigrant-heavy sectors. Economically, these developments will likely increase labor shortages, raising operational costs for businesses and potentially leading to higher consumer prices. Research indicates that undocumented immigrants playing a vital role in sustaining the U.S. economy, contributing approximately $2 trillion to the GDP annually. Therefore, mass deportations could result in reduced productivity, slower economic growth, and significant fiscal strain on state and local governments tasked with supporting deported individuals. While the impact of immigrant arrests on the U.S. economy remains uncertain, it is clear that the large-scale deportation of undocumented workers could present substantial challenges, from labor market instability to legal entanglements, all of which would likely generate long-term economic consequences.
Mr. Rosamondo, Trump's declaration of the national emergency on the border seems contentious. How likely is that this will succeed without legal setbacks, sir?
Well, I'm fairly confident that this will succeed.
Sorry, sir, you're very what?
Because President Trump has put the interests of the country ahead of the interests of wealthy entrepreneurs who want cheap labor. And also, we have to deal with the threat of terrorists and other enemy combatants pouring across our border.
Mr. Rosamondo, with increasing legal challenges, what role do you think the Supreme Court will play in determining the future of Trump's immigration policy? Of course, considering, sir, that this is the focus on immigration, and he is focusing on immigration, which has emerged as a pivotal issue for his administration, sir. And is he capable?
Well, I think that President Trump is actually counting on that, considering that the Supreme Court, 6-3 conservative majority, will likely rule in his favor. So I think that that is something that he is counting on.
Okay, sir, what role do you believe the military will play in Trump's ongoing immigration strategy, especially with respect to border security, sir? Will the military be capable of banning the migrants from coming into the United States?
Well, I believe that it won't be 100% secure. However, I think it will have an increased security, especially with the activities of the Mexican cartels who are involved in migrant smuggling. And we're finding an increasing militarization of the cartels along the U.S. border. And I think that this will help the law enforcement that's overstretched to confront the flow of illegal migrants. Plus, also you have this institution of the state remain in Mexico policy from his prior administration that I believe will be advantageous.
Sir, your narratives, do you read any military intervention in this case when, or is it going to just be a smooth transition?
Well, when it comes to immigration, that's on our side of the border, aimed at keeping people from coming over. However, President Trump declared the Mexican drug cartels to be the foreign terrorist organizations. So I think that we'll end up seeing CIA operations and potentially special operations by Green Berets, SEALs, and so forth against the cartels inside Mexico.
Yeah, so you read, sir, that it's going to be there's going to be an escalation.
There will be an escalation. However,
we're
dealing with a problem that's been left unattended by successive administrations. So we're at this point. We're at a crisis. And President Trump is the first president that we've had who has had the courage and the ability to deliver.
Mr. Rosamondo, are you pro or anti his decision with regards to the immigration policy that Trump has been attaining since day one of his campaign?
I'm 100% behind it. We need to only allow
So
people
you're backing
who
it,
have been
sir?
vetted into the United States. No, all of
You're backing
most
it, you're behind
Americans
it.
are descendants of immigrants, but our ancestors came here legally.
Okay, Sir, how might the changes in the refugee admissions program impact the United States' relations with neighboring countries and global partners, sir? Mr. Rosamondo, do you want me to repeat the question again?
Yes, please repeat the
Okay,
question.
sir, how might the changes in the refugee admissions program impact the United States' relations with neighboring countries and global partners?
Well, I think that it'll show that the United States is a serious country that takes its borders seriously. I mean, it might end up causing issues with Mexico and some of the nations in Latin America. But, you sometimes have to create friction in order to get the world you want instead of being afraid of the consequences. I mean, making transitions is never pretty, but I think in the end, the world will be better off due to President Trump.
Sir, if we come to discuss immigration policies, which of course Trump is taking into consideration and is on his top priorities. How do you read, sir, from your own perspective, this affecting U.S. foreign investments, especially from the immigrant-heavy industries?
Well, I believe that we should be focusing on attracting the best skilled, the best, legal immigrants into this country, instead of giving American industry a blank check for cheap labor. I mean, we need to maybe consider something like a visa program that would allow workers to come to the U.S. and then to return to their countries in the off-season, especially in agricultural industries or labor industries and so forth, instead of, and also I think there needs to be a harder stance taken against companies that exploit illegal migrants.
So, sir, banning immigrants or migrants from coming into the United States, classifying what you're saying, if I understood well, is that you're not backing it when it's illegal. But when it comes to the legal, you see that there are industries such as agriculture, as for example, that are going to be in bad situation if the Trump administration or if Trump, as the United States of America, takes these actions legally and implements them.
Well, President Trump is pro-legal immigration.
Pro-legal immigration as well?
Illegal immigration.
Perfect, sir. And how do you read this from your own narrative, sir?
Well, I look at the narrative, saying this is going to cause a real rift in the American economy as fear-mongering by people who exploit cheap labor.
Okay, considering Trump's focus on curbing immigration, how does this fit into his broader strategy for national security and economic protectionism, sir?
Well, he wants to ensure that Americans get the jobs and that American wages are not being brought down. Once upon a time, the labor movement in the United States stood strongly against illegal immigration because it brought down the wages of American workers of all colors and all classes. So President Trump is taking a stance for the American worker.
Okay, sir, do you have enough American workers to take over and do the job?
We'll have plenty of American workers to take over the jobs. And however, if you need, workers to come into the U.S., we could probably have some sort of visa program to bring people in to fill those slots. But I think that we should be focusing on ensuring that Americans are able to do the jobs.
Perfect, sir. So you're with and you're pro what Trump is doing now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, sir, how can we, my final question is, how can we, sir, from your own perspective, considering these moves, how do you assess the long-term national security implications of the United States support for Israeli settlements? Just on a lighter note before...
I believe that the United States supports Israel, and I believe that this is an issue that we're going to have to leave to people who are more informed than I.
That was Mr. John Rosamondo, national security expert, and Mr. Amgad Atiyah, an economic and political analyst, which of course halfway through the program, unfortunately, the Skype technical problems took place. And Mr. Rosamondo, of course, we thank you so much for your informative intellectual knowledge and adding insights to our program today. That brings us to the end of our hour for this hour, and brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more yet to come here on Qnews. Don't go away.